Hello and welcome to Miss Tech Radio. I'm so happy to have you with me today or tonight. Recently, I've been hearing some things about our current president here in the United States, Donald J. Trump. And these things are all just filled with hatred for this individual who happens to be in the greatest position in our country. And it's just got me thinking all the time about politics and people, sociology, psychology, all of these different things. And it's just been such a great experience because I actually am engaging with things that I never used to consider important. I just thought politics was stupid because everyone argued, everyone pointed the finger at each other, and it never seemed like anything actually happened in the country. Other than whoever was president, it was something they did and they were saying that it was bad. No one talked about the good things in our country. And I just thought, I don't want to listen to that. I think that it's rude and it's mean. And it doesn't seem like anything good. And that was my stigma for a long time. Until recently, with all of the upheaval in our country, compounded on the worldwide pandemic. Such an interesting wave of events have happened to everyone. And at the beginning of it, I said something really weird, something really big is going to happen to change the course of these things. All of this combined makes for something to change. And usually these things are pretty big. And that gets me really excited. And to be honest, I feel like that's what people are missing. They're missing excitement, happiness, joy. And I get it because everyone's been cooped up for a while, been told to be afraid and be scared and all of these things. And on top of that, when Donald Trump was elected president, it was as if a war was started right then and there. A war with our politicians, a war with our friends, a war with our family, and mostly the media. The more and more people began to talk about Donald Trump, the more resentful people became. And it's weird that this dude has so much power over their lives. Not as in he has an upper hand, but the way people are just so consumed with having to talk about something hateful all the time. I mean, take for instance recently, the CEO of Goya Foods. You know Goya, blue can, yellow label. The CEO of Goya was invited to an event held by Donald Trump to discuss how to help Hispanic Americans succeed a little better and have a better quality of life. And to be completely honest with you, I grew up in the South, and when he was campaigning, all we heard was how to make people's lives better. And I need you to understand something, because this is really important. Right now, everyone is being tracked. Their data and where they're visiting, what kind of issues they're interested in, building this data profile of people. And they use those as hotspots for areas. and they'll take messages or ads, just like you find on Facebook for clothes or whatever, and they'll send them to you based on those preferences. So people all across the country can be getting different news of a similar aspect. And so when you hear this, I really hope that you can take those things into consideration and use some type of objectivity to just listen to what I'm saying and not just get mad because I said the word Donald Trump. And I'm talking about him like he's a human being. Imagine that. Moving on. So, all right. That's what I heard a lot during his campaign. And at school, we would watch that stuff and discuss it in my psychology class. It was very interesting. But it was always just the most outrageous, crazy things. I was so confused. And I told you I wasn't interested in politics, but looking back on it, some of it made sense. And, you know, the things that he does say that are pretty good, people usually just take out of context, because it kind of is easy to pick on the dude. I mean, God, he leaves himself open because of some of the comments that he makes. And it's just like, as a leader of the country, you want to speak your best. But at the same time, you can't win them all. That's who this dude is. Let's move on from that. Literally. Like, if we could just move on from the aspects of him that are different than what you prefer, maybe we could get things done together. Because what I see is this, what I call anti-Trump America, where people just hate him so much they don't give him a chance. And I was telling you about the CEO of Goya visiting the White House. Well, guess what? Articles came out criticizing the CEO of Goya and 2 congressmen who happen to be Democratic made a tweet saying that we should all boycott Goya because of this. What? How ridiculous does that sound? It makes me laugh. But that's what I'm talking about. It's as if these politicians, and both sides are guilty, but it's as if these politicians would rather just sit around and point at each other and make Twitter comments about it and all this stuff rather than doing good things. But I just want to end this with a bit of good news coming out of the White House. Because a lot of people want to focus on all the bad things, and I don't see how they can possibly like a person that they constantly complain about. So, some good things that happened. Recently, with all of the clash with, let's just say, the extremists in the streets of our great cities, there have been multiple threats and multiple acts of art destruction in the form of monuments and memorials and that sort of thing. And so it was rumored that people wanted to change the face of Mount Rushmore or shave it off. Was a funny one. Blow it up. Just stupid stuff. And so on July 3rd, which, did you know, fun fact, John Adams refused to celebrate on July 4th because he believed that July 3rd, 1776, was the true day of independence. So, funny enough, Donald Trump went to Mount Rushmore on July 3rd, and he announced that Mount Rushmore will now be a national monument, the National Garden of American Heroes. And I think that's very, very cool. In an upcoming video, I'm going to talk about some old people in history and why that shouldn't matter, but make us greater as a country. But before I go, I do want to leave with one more piece of positive news. Donald Trump has now redefined NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and he's renegotiated it to the USMCA, United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement. Now, this article is coming from the Office of the United States Trade Representative. So it's going to talk about the United States. However, when I was doing research on NAFTA, I found a fantastic website that had information for all three countries involved, different aspects, very long, very good, interesting read. So I can link that below, and I can also link the article I'm referencing now. So some of the agreement highlights for the United States include creating a more level playing field for American workers in the automobile industry and other products and disciplines. So this is going to be, already with the first highlight, we're seeing that this is going to be a boost for our economy during the hardship of the issue we're all going through here and around the world. Next highlight, benefiting American farmers, ranchers, and agriculture. Thank goodness. I have so many people from back home that share articles all the time about the agricultural industry and how it is getting severely hit right now. So I am very, very, very happy that that is something being taken care of with this agreement. Also, supporting the 21st economy through new protection of intellectual properties, ensuring opportunities for trade in the U.S. services. And finally, digital trade is being covered, anti-corruption, and good regulatory practices, as well as a chapter devoted to ensuring that small and medium-sized enterprises benefit from the agreement.